tears, gritting teeth, burning fears, running through streets of fire.
Oh yes. Woo! Yes. Let's see if we could get a better camera in here. Aha. Yes. Yes, what's going on, everybody? How are you doing? Thank you for joining us. We are getting started here. Aha. Ready, strike. Okay, just one more minute of this. How are you all doing? How are you all doing? Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Okay, we're just turning on the camera here. Very good. Very good. Welcome, everybody. Day 40. Oh my God. This is crazy. It's already 40 days. Wow. Aha. Okay. Very good. Okay, how are you doing? Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday, Nassim says. Yes, happy Wednesday to you as well. Aha. Okay. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Wherever you are, from all around the world. Thank you. Okay. Well, I think our anthem is enough. We already listened to the podcast anthem once. I was just trying to set this up for us here, and I'm glad it worked. All right, so today is going to be another beautiful day. Just like every other day, let's create some magic. Hello, how are you doing, Ibrahim? I don't know where you're from. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Another beautiful day here. Yesterday, we were talking with Mitchell. Yesterday, we were talking with Mitchell about stress management and anxiety management. And the conversation went very deep in different directions in terms of how our brain functions and how we experience everything that we experience. How can we manage our emotional mastery better so that we could actually achieve our own desires, goals, and whatever your mission is much more effectively? Because without emotional mastery, we are always just responding to our environment and our circumstances, and it feels very exhausting, both mentally and physiologically on our body. Okay, so because of that, the body feels stressed, it feels worn out. Mentally, we feel worn out, we feel stressed out. Emotionally, we feel drained. And that's the thing. So many people, billions and billions of people, almost every human alive is experiencing this at some level, way, shape, or form in their own way. Okay, you bet this is always the way. And every person, doesn't matter where you think you are in life, every person is dealing with it on their own terms. And the better we learn how to manage our own emotional self, it's called emotional mastery. There's actually an EQ, EQ and IQ. So just like how there is an IQ, which is your intelligence quotient, there is your emotional quotient as well, which is a score. So how you can manage your emotional state. By the way, most humans can at most just go between like 5, 6, 7, 10 emotions when you ask them, what are the emotions that you feel on a day-to-day basis? Ask yourself that right now. What are the emotions that on a day-to-day basis you experience in your life? See, for most people, it's very straightforward. And again, this becomes a repetition of the 95% of the pattern, cyclical behavior of our life, of our thoughts, of our feelings, and of our doings and not doings that keep on repeating and showing up. Okay, so this set of emotions that we experience most of the times. So some people, they're most of the times excited, and sometimes they feel relaxed, but you see them, they're always pumped. But then we see some other people who are always like down, and they're always like complaining, and they're always nagging. And their emotional home, by the way, that becomes a very important conversation. Let me actually see if I could find an image of emotional. I want to show you a picture. Hopefully I could show you a picture of this so that you could better understand this. Okay, there it is. So let me see if I could just save this on the computer, somehow open it. How can I show this to you guys? I'm on a platform right now which is not allowing me to share. Rodolfo. Rodolfo Erdogan. Are you Turkish? Wow, we have so many people in the house today. Thank you all for being here. Okay, just give me 1 second. I'm trying to I don't know, JC. That I don't see emojis here. I only see these. So here, let me just find this for you. Move up. Can I do this? Can I share my screen somehow? Yes, I could probably share my screen, right? Okay. Let's share this. We're going to push this window down here, and we're going to share our screen with you in just about, there it is. No, there it is not. Oh, you're not seeing that properly, huh? Let's make it even more proper. There you go. Good. You could see this now. So, okay guys, look at that up there. Whatever you see up there is what's known as the ladder upon which we go up and down to feel different emotional states. And you may not be able to read it, so I'm going to read it for you. At the top of it, we have joy, appreciation, empowered, freedom, love, okay? And then under it is passion, under it is enthusiasm, positive expectations, belief, optimism, hopefulness, contentment. The black one is contentment at this point, okay? So then there is boredom, pessimism, frustration, overwhelmed, disappointment. Oh, this keeps on getting doubt, worry, blame, discouragement, anger, revenge, hate, jealousy, insecurity, and the last one being powerlessness, despair, grief, and fear. So, okay, so look at this right now. If fear, powerlessness, grief is at the bottom, and then love, freedom is at the top, okay, and between these, there are so many different layers that we always travel through depending on what our emotional feeling state is at that moment. However, when you look at that list, you will recognize for yourself that there are some. Why did oh yeah, for you guys, here it is. Why is it that we are most of the time spending our time in one space? And what is that space? It's so imperative to figure this out, because if you look, for example, something like this one shows you something very, very astounding. Look at this. This is, hold on, let me bring this one up for you. Okay. Now we're gonna switch. We're gonna share our screen to something else. We're gonna, stay with me. Stay with it. Here it comes. This one. Okay, so for example, as you can see, there are studies, okay, where they actually show you. Let me see if I could make that even bigger a little bit. There are studies that can show you how your body is feeling. What parts of it do you feel hot has to do with what you're feeling, okay? This is a manifestation literally into your physical body. So like at the level of anger, you see it's like the head and the hands, the hands, the fists, you could see, they're literally hot, scorching. And then the head, and then the chest. But then as you see, everything under the chest is just cold. There's no like sensations there. It's like, and then you see the feet are a little bit hot as well. And then you see in fear, it's kind of like anger, but the arms are no longer hot. Do you see how this is so interesting? The arms are not on fire, and the feet less too. So fear is more debilitating. Essentially, and then look, it's like that's the level of energy, level of feelings that you're feeling in your body. But look how fear has the gut element. It's because of all those churnings of the stomach. Isn't that interesting? Very, very interesting. And then there's disgust, which has a little bit of an anger in it, but it still has the element of the stomach churning. So it's less powerful. It has a little bit of the anger and the fist, but it also has the stomach, but still very weak. Notice how anger is so powerful. It's like ready to go. And then notice how happiness is. This is so interesting. Happiness is like the entire body is like lit up. It's like it's putting you in a state of feeling your entire body. See, when it's neutral and it's dark, it's completely dark, the body. It's neutral, that means you're not feeling anything. And that's for most of the people where they are neutral. I don't feel anything. It's unless I get very angry where I feel my head is exploding, or unless like I'm so happy and in love where I feel butterflies in my stomach, maybe once in a year or something like that. Once a month, once a week. Then otherwise it's neutral. It's like no feelings. Because you're just like, and when it's like that, that's exactly what it feels like as it looks like. It's just like dead. It's like there's nothing happening. At least with anger and with like disgust, there is still something happening within you. And that's why, by the way, a lot of people get addicted to those emotional states, because they get addicted to that certainty of knowing that they can always feel like shit when they're ready for it. Believe me, It's called a crazy eight for a reason, or a vicious loop from hell. We all get caught up in it at different times of our lives. We all do. Nobody's better than everybody else. We're all here for this beautiful human experience, and we get to talk about it. This is interesting. This is like getting to know like the machine that you're in right now. That's what we're talking about. Okay, the better you know what to do with it, the better you could use it and utilize it. Because I again, reminder, this is not a religious conversation. This is a fully scientific conversation. You're not your mind and you're not your body. You're not those two. So if you think the thoughts in your head are you, that's the beginning of every problem that you're having in your life. I literally want you to be aware of that, okay? Oh, by the way, yeah. Okay, perfect. So, as I was saying, watch this. Sadness still has a little bit of aliveness here in the chest, but it's mostly like that. Watch how like happiness, which is up in the center, first row in the center, happiness, it's like the entire body is on fire and excited and alive. Watch how happiness, the heart is more yellow. Jesus. Not right now. Yes. Well, sorry about the call. Notice how happiness, the heart is so alive, but in love, the heart is more spiked, yet the head is less, and it stops right under the, right where your legs start. The love excitement stops. Doesn't go all the way to your legs, and it's not as much in your head. Yes, it's more in the heart, and it's more in the lower abdominal area. It's more scattered, but it's not like happiness. Pride also. Look what the pride is. The third one from the, let me see where I could see it on my screen. So it's the third one on this side, pride. So pride, the head and our heads and our heart, our chest area start getting excited. Yet as you see, it's much lower than love. Now notice how similar anxiety, which is beside love, is to love. It's just missing the hands and a little bit of the head. But that's why a lot of people love their anxiety. I'm very serious. Now look at depression. It's very interesting. Depression is the only one that has blue hands and blue arms, which is cold, literally. Because it feels like your body is just numb. It feels cold. You feel like absolutely no willingness to move. That's literally what, let me grab my water, please. That's literally what the depression feeling, if anybody has ever felt it, that's what it feels like. Now, for everybody who's with us right now, please drink some water. We don't drink enough water. So many of the physical problems in the body will actually just completely disappear with 3 days of enough water drinking. That's basically like 2 liters. Drink 2 liters of water, 3 liters is better. For 3 days, you'll see how your body feels. Yes, you're gonna go pee a lot, but there is a reason. It's because your body's flushing all the toxins out, and then it doesn't need to go as much after a while. So it gets used to it. It's a crazy system, I'm telling you. Very brilliant system. So every day between 12 to 1 p.m. we show up here and we share with you strategies, tools, information that we study all of our lives as researchers and basically get paid thousands and thousands to deliver this to our clients for free to the community, for you. So we are going on 6 different channels, 14 different outlets. I don't know where you are or who you are, or if you're the only one in the room or there are other people in the room with you watching this. It doesn't matter. The point is, it's just me and you talking about how we could be our best versions of ourselves and embrace growth in the directions of success, fulfillment, and wealth. That is what the entire idea of this daily live power hour is. So we come together and figure out how we could do that together. Okay, cool, get it? If that's something you vibe with, thank you for sticking around. And there's definitely a lot more of this. Every day we show up for you. This next week is going to be 2 exceptions because we are attending expos all day, business expos in Miami and Orlando. By the way, if you're there, Miami, Orlando, I would love to see you guys in person at the business expo if you're around. And if not, then remember, every day we come together to hold this space for growth in wealth, success, and fulfillment. If those are the things that any one of them interests you, you need a community and you need strategies to actually start moving. And we're not selling you nothing here. There's no membership, no courses, nothing. Okay? Nothing I have to sell you. So anyways, continuing on with our conversation of emotional mastery, which requires us to even understand how we are feeling. Remember, it's always pattern recognition. So every time you go in this pattern of feeling what you're seeing, so your head is rushing, your heart is excited, your body is feeling like it's all alive, that just means that's a pattern that your body feels when it's happy. Though, and it shows, it looks like that's like the fire energy everywhere, energy all around my body. They just distributed perfectly. And then you see in depression, which is a complete lack of happiness, it actually goes the opposite to the only state where it shows that the body is going blue or cold, which there is such a lack of energy. So very, very important. And there's like nowhere in the body where it's like warm and hot. Then look at being contempt. Then pride. And look at shame. Isn't that interesting? Shame's head looks kind of like, I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to zoom this in for you. Oh, come on. Look at this. It looks like Spider-Man. It looks like that. It looks like it looks angry. And notice how anger doesn't even look like that. Anger, which is top up here, does not look like that. That's crazy. Look at this. And shame goes what? It goes internal. So this is such a beautiful thing. I always look at this and I'm like, oh, that's the dark part of me that's trying to fuck with me. Because remember, shame is amongst the lowest measured. I'll show you now. Readings of human energetic state. Because it is so debilitating. See, even, I'll show you right now actually, wait. This is going to be another good one I want to share with you. Okay. Can we bring this page up, sir? Yes, perfect. Okay, we are going to change this now to another part, which is this. Oh, wait, coming right up. Hot and fresh out of the oven. Okay, do you see this? It's called emotional energy chart. So there are studies with actual numbers dedicated to these. You see there's 700 all the way at the top, and then there's 20. Look at the bottom. What is the bottom? It is shame. It is the lowest. It's 20 on the metric scale. Like your anger is 150. That's where you still have like the energy, but the energy is very short bursts and it's not sustainable. But then you see as your state, as your emotional desired states move up the chain, your basically frequency, the vibrations, the numbers associated with that level of energetic state, emotional energetic state, just keeps on increasing. So on top of love, there is, so it goes from, let's go from shame to guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, courage, neutrality. So neutrality is higher than courage and pride in terms of its energy measurement. This is crazy. But if you remember, in neutral, the body was just like completely nothing. But if you could stay at nothing, because now you're staying away from all of the negative anchors that come even when the anger was lighting the body up, the same as, let's say, like envy or love. It was the same thing, almost. So as much as the energetic presence in the body feels alive, it's still not on the scale high, and it is below, even though you feel alive, you're below neutrality, which at that point you're not. You're just like, man, okay, everything just is really just, I'm just so busy right now, I don't even have time to think about my headache. That's what it is. And then on top of neutrality, you get willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace. And then the highest one is the enlightenment, which, as you can see, you go from, the moment you go from willingness, which is I'm willing, to acceptance, the moment you cross that chasm from 300 to 350, you're going into the threshold of now expanded levels of consciousness, versus the more you go down, the more you go on a contracted levels of consciousness. So you could find these in integral teachings of psychology. There's this huge integral community globally of experts who teach, study, and research in integral school of psychology, which brings over 100 different modalities that have been researched throughout the not very long, very short life of psychological research. So any modality that has been figured out, they bring it together and make it into one modality. But this is just one component of the major wheel system. This is just one wheel in that major system. But you should look into it. The genius behind it. I'm just trying to remember Wilber. Ken Wilber. He is just mind-numbing how brilliant he is. Like, I really don't know like anybody on this planet who's at his level of knowing in his own domain, which is human psychology, consciousness, and studies of such. He's written like over like 30 books, I think, already. So he's done so much research. He's known as the Einstein of psychology. Let's just put it this way. Ken Wilber is the Einstein of psychology, because just like the physics, modern physics, The foundation was laid by Newton, and then until there were Schrodinger's and Einstein's, there was no revolution in physics. It was all just primarily just a three-dimensional understanding of the physics, the modern science we're talking about, because when you go old science of the world of humanity, 3, 4, 5, 30,000 years old, they had quantum physics that now we are finding in Sanskrit, in any language you want around the planet, you can find these. So these are archaeological now facts. Nothing here is made up. Everything is just based on our best research of the evidence that has led us to believe everything that we believe, because once you study the patterns of success, you see that because everything needs a pattern to manifest into results. For example, if you want to lose weight, you have to stick to the pattern of behaving with your eating habits and then also showing up at the gym to actually lose those pounds that you have gained, or vice versa. If you want to, for example, become an engineer, there's a specific pattern of behavior that you have to adhere to. You have to study some subjects beforehand and get good at those, and get good at the physics, mathematics, and all these things. These are all patterns, do you see? So when you go and you find people who are doing amazing and they're doing wonderful, doesn't matter in which department, we're not only talking money. They could be doing amazing in dance, they could be doing amazing in swimming, they could be amazing in money making, they could be amazing in acting, doesn't matter, whatever you want. You go, and when you study these people who've done amazing and who've done so wonderful, you will see that they all have the same patterns of behavior, which is to consistently and obsessively dedicate themselves to things that other people refuse to dedicate themselves to. That's why they get exceptionally different results, very skewed from the general population. So, all right, this is the point of the conversation. There are enough science and studies now available at hand for you to be able to figure out the solution to anything you're experiencing in your physiological body. By the way, this is not professional advice. Always consult with your doctors and physicians, but I'm just sharing my own experience of findings that today, with the quantum physics, which was the revolution that the likes of Einstein, Schrodinger, and so many other great physicists came about, where we got a peek into the world of quantum, which, by the way, quantum just means the level at which scientists just say. That's why regular physicists don't have the patience for quantum physics, because the world of quantum to them is just too much unknown and too many variables for their liking of a physicist that wants everything to be solid, because they're used to the speed of gravity being the same thing, the speed of light being the same thing, the measurement of the meter, the kilogram, everything being the same. Therefore, they like that space. However, the quantum physicists, they start opening new dimensions for us. Because once you start studying it and you start understanding it, then you start feeling that, oh my goodness, then all these things, that all these teachings of the world's oldest books have been saying for thousands of years are true. It's just that they've been telling them to us in, wrapped in beautiful storytelling versions. And meanwhile, we were just consuming them at their face value and saying the wrapping is the truth, and forgetting that all under the wrapping was always the same message. It's like how billions of humans on this planet are to this day still, in the name of their righteous version of the God, still hate each other and go to wars with each other. To this day on this planet. That's like, do you know how crazy this is? It's like if US and Mexico got into a war with each other, because they both called the things that come out of planet Earth and have leaves and create fruits for us, they called it different names. Then they would go at it and start going at each other. Same concept, it's just that because that thing that they refer to is not seen, so they cannot say this is mine, it's not yours, it becomes this battle that, oh, the name that I call it is the right name. Meanwhile, everybody's talking about the same thing. It makes no difference. Even in the world of physics, quantum physics, they call it quantum fluctuation vacuum, which is really the name for the baseline, which is like the ocean from which the waves come out of, where it is all existence. And different religions have different names for it. Some call it Allah, some call it the Holy Spirit, Prana, Shiva, Mukti, Brahma. I don't know. There's so many different names. Yahweh, Jehovah. Everybody has their own name. There's like thousands and thousands of names for it, just like every language has its own name for water. Not everybody calls it water. Only the English call it water. You go to a different country and you say water, they will look at you like you're just blabbering noises, which is exactly what you're doing. That's what we do. Just blabber noises. We're just noise-making machines. So anyways, back to this beautiful friend here, this conversation up. Take a look at this emotional score and figure out where you want to be, because we all have a home, an emotional home. And I was saying this to say Ken Wilber is the Einstein to psychology, as Freud and Pavlov were the Newtons of psychology. They were the founding, really, fathers. So many great people. Carl Jung. So many. But the point is, Ken Wilber, who's still alive, I just told you this, go study Ken Wilber, he's still alive. You have the blessing of being in the presence of a master, of a master level human who's here on this planet doing good in real time. Like, I don't care where you're from, I don't care who you are or what you believe in. If I was right now alive in the times of like Nelson Mandela, I would want to listen to that bro and be like, yo, I want to get myself like on a live call just so I could hear you talk live. Doesn't matter. That's why, by the way, so many millions and millions of people were going to actually watch and hear and listen to these visionaries, these teachers, these guides who always are all around us. You are actually a visionary, a teacher, and a guide to so many around you. This is an infinite loop. It doesn't matter that there's only one person. We all are to others, even if you don't know it. There are always those people that look up to you for something that you represent, that they respect within themselves, that they see in you, or something they wish to see more of within themselves that they already see in you today. Doesn't matter what it is. We all have that, because that's literally the model on which life operates. It's just an infinite loop. So pick your emotional state. Where do you want to spend most of your time? Because your emotional state is certainly a space that we spend quite a bit of time there. Most of our days are spent there. Now, this came to me when we actually had an employee. I was like, how is it possible? How can I just change my emotional state? And I was doing everything I know right now. Back then, I knew all these things. This is about 3 years ago. I was like, how do I make myself happy all day, every day? That's not possible. I was telling myself that, be careful. That's why I tell you, be careful what to tell yourself is possible and is not possible. Be careful what you put after I. So we ended up hiring this girl. And she always, like for the first few days, I thought she's putting up an act. But no, I saw this girl like goes out, comes in day after day, whether she was going through her physiological patterns of the month or not, which a lot of women start changing at that stage. No, still the same. She would come with this big smile on, like this. And then I was like, what? This drove me nuts. Because I was like, I would sneak it. I would sneak. I would just be like hiding, and then like she was working there, I would just be like I wanted to see if she was just doing it when we were around, but no, she was not acting it. She was always smiling and a big grin like this. And I was like, oh my God, because I saw every time a customer would come in and she would go talk to them, the customers would also light up. Of course they would, because we would light up every time. I would light up every time I would see her. So then I couldn't resist, and obviously I go to her and I go like, listen, I have a question. How do you do this? How are you always happy? She was tired, she was smiling. Early in the morning, she was smiling. That time of a month, smiling. Stressed out, she was still smiling. Smile would go like this. I would start to see her lose this smile when she would really, really get into her head, which was very seldom, and that came months after, as her life started to shift. But the story is, she held herself so well together. She told me, you know what she says? She said, I don't know. I was like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, what goes on in your mind when you're smiling? She's like, stuff, like normal stuff. I'm like, okay, let's talk about normal stuff. Most of the times, what are you thinking? What are you thinking right now? She's like, I don't know. This is an odd conversation. I never had this. I was like, yeah, and you're still smiling. Usually when people feel like something is odd, their state will shift. So it would go like, oh, this is weird. Yeah, I got to think about this. No, but she was still like this. So I was like, this is making no sense. So then, what do you have it? The story is, her mother and her sister are also obviously the same. So her environment is the same. They all were brought up in the pattern that smiling is how you stay alive, how you stay fresh. They were from Caribbeans, by the way, the Caribbean islands. Their attitude in life was, happiness is the emotional home I choose to be in, even when I'm going through other states of thought. This is, I was like, oh my God. And this girl was thinking that's nothing. Because obviously you take everything you have for granted. We always do. We actually most of the times don't recognize and don't reward ourselves for it. I made sure she does. And I want you to know as well, anytime you recognize something great within yourself, you must reward yourself for it. Recognize it. Reward yourself by recognizing your own effort. That's all you do. I don't mean like go out and like have like pancakes. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. But like, how you reward yourself is by acknowledging your efforts and just saying, thank you. I did amazing. I know. Yes, 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 yes. Celebrate. Put on a song and dance to it. That's how you celebrate. Yes, okay, if you want, you could go have your splurge of whatever else you want to treat yourself with. But that's a treat. It's not a celebration. Whatever you purchase for yourself is a treat, is a trigger that it's going to do something for me, make me even more happy. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's not a celebration. A celebration is an internal state where we appreciate and we are grateful for what we have. And we absolutely go in this ecstatic feeling of being joyful. That have you seen when you go around people you love and like it's a birthday or it's like Christmas and everybody's happy, how the atmosphere turns into an atmosphere of celebration, of joy, of gratitude? That's what I'm talking about. That's what you want, and that's what the culture in the Caribbean islands is teaching these people. Now, not all of them are going to be like that. I know so many who weren't like that, but they were living it. So then this changed everything for me. I was like, that's it. That's what I needed to see. If one person can do it, everyone can. It's just whether we want to or not. And that moment created what's called a breakthrough for me. It was an aha, insightful moment. I was like, oh my God, then they're making the conscious choice to do this because the rest of them aren't doing it. Doesn't matter. They have a teaching, a formula. A teaching is just a formula. If you want to cook with it, go cook. Do you make every recipe on this planet? No, but there are billions of recipes available. You can go cook with them if you want. See, a teaching is a formula. You could do with it what you want, or you could just completely disregard it. But when somebody is sharing a formula, a teaching with you, you always at least pay attention, because there's nothing that happens accidentally, believe me. The reason you're watching this video right now is not accidental. And the reason me being here, of all the things I need to be doing, of 1,000 things that I need to tend to, is not accidental either. I'm here to serve you, literally. And the reason you're watching this is because probably at some point in your life, within the past few days, you will even be surprised. You were thinking that I need an answer to something. That could be anything, or I'm getting exhausted with this. Enough of this. How do I get out of this? And that's why and I'm not saying I'm the only, but that's how you get your keys when you start asking. You will see that the algorithm starts rewarding you, not even by listening to you. And you know what? Everybody keeps on saying, oh yeah, the phone is listening to you and it shows you ads on what you're talking about. Okay, I'm going to be very, very honest with you. And I tell you this because look at the name of this channel, AI or Buy, because our expertise in life, other than breakthrough consulting, which is what I'm doing one-on-one with you now, is AI business development. So that's what we focus on, integration. So I'm telling you this from somebody who understands AI and uses it to earn a living with and helps so many, literally millions. So listen to this. Have you ever thought about something and then you saw its ad? I'm not saying nothing. I'm just asking you, have you? You could try it now. You'll see. Just be aware of it. Don't talk about it. When you think of something and you see it, there is a reason that happens. And that reason is quantum physics. It has nothing to do with AI or algorithm. It's because the moment your brain puts its focus on anything and actually emotionally attach itself to an outcome, now the entire existence conspires to make that experience true for you. Now that's the key. You could think and feel bad things and you will experience them, because now everything conspires to make that come true for you. That's why whatever you're afraid of, you'll experience. It becomes an inevitability. Because if you can't, then you... Whoa, hello. What happened to our video? The video just left. So, yeah, my friend, Thank you so much for being here. Just by the mere thought process of what you think about and what you feel, I want you to know that by the mere thought process, what you want shows up for you. Be careful what you think for. Be careful how you feel, because that's more important than the thinking. Oftentimes our thoughts alone create feelings, but sometimes we're so caught up that we're just thinking about something that those are not the ones you want to concern yourself with. The thoughts that you keep on thinking and the feelings that you keep on experiencing in your body emotionally, those become very, very powerful for your life experience, because you will keep on experiencing more and more of that. Now, if you want to go in a positive direction of going up, you go in an upward spiral. If you want to go down, you go in a downward spiral. It's true. This is what I'm telling you. It's science. It's quantum physics. You could debate it all you want. You could not believe it and play victim and help and invoke your learned helplessness and say, oh no, that's not possible. Then why do I not have what I want? Why do I not have what I want? We've talked about that many times. Because you weren't emotionally, intellectually, and physiologically, physically aligning yourself to achieve it, and you just at best desire it. Now think about everything else that you were focusing on that you don't want, how your life keeps on giving you more and more of that. How? Focus on that. And you tell me if that has not been the truth for you. Anyways, your emotional state. Pick your emotional home. I on that day chose the emotional home of happiness, which was the entire body being energetically alive, if you remember. That's why I was showing you all of those things. That's why they come to here. How do you want to feel in your body? Because I wanted to feel alive in my body. I just didn't know it was possible to do it all the time. So then I started telling myself, I started doing a challenge. My challenge was every time I just looked at myself in the mirror, or anytime I grabbed my phone and I saw my own reflection into anything, I had to stop and smile. Very quickly, that challenge turned into I'm going to smile all the time. And very quickly, that smiling all the time became my emotional home, where now I practice smiling on an ongoing basis, because they were doing it for decades. They were no longer thinking about it. It was in the 95% of the subconscious mind. I literally had to fish for it. But for us, we can, just like anything else with exercise, just like exercising our body to gain or lose mass, we could exercise our emotional mastery to gain or lose our energetic score, which you just saw in the slides before. Okay, that's it for today. 1 hour. Tomorrow we won't be with you because we're going to be attending the Miami Business Expo. It's going to be amazing. If you're in Miami, I hope we run into you and see you. Come say hi, please. And yes, on the 10th as well, we're going to be at the Orlando one, just attending and connecting with all these lovely, beautiful people there. All right, thank you so much. Every other day, every day, forget about everything I said. If you're watching this live, that was just for you. But every day between 12 to 1 p.m., we come on and we stay on for an hour where we give you so much value. And in terms of strategies that can be leveraged right now for somebody who is ready to embrace growth, to actually grow right now. Okay, that's what we focus on, and we just deliver and we keep on delivering. We're here for you. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. Love you so much. Take care. Be good. Don't forget, you're a miracle being, and you're capable of whatever it is that you cannot even think about. Okay. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. No, the day after. 12. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you, by the way, for sticking around this far. Nassim, shout outs to you.